My name is Carolyne Barry, and I am your commercial master teacher. Today, we are focusing on the process of getting commercial representation. This is the first of a three-part series, Submitting for Commercial Representation. In order to book TV and web commercials, you usually have to audition. To get auditions, you need to be submitted. Actors can submit themselves for some commercial auditions, but the majority of your auditions will come through commercial agents. On this video, you will learn how to professionally submit to them. And who better to help you understand the most effective way to get commercial representation than three top Los Angeles commercial agents. Meet Alicia Ruskin, commercial agent and partner at Kazarian, Spencer, Ruskin & Associates. Hugh Leon, top agent with Coast to Coast Agency, and Daniel Hoff, owner of the Daniel Hoff Agency.
I find actors for representation through managers, casting directors, producers, directors, other talent, family, friends.
We're at theater every week. We are at comedy shows. I'm seeing one of my clients in a stand-up show next week. We're at showcases.
Any actors that want to send in their pictures to me, I will look through everybody just to see if there's anybody that maybe stands out to me.
I prefer actors to contact me through pictures and resumes. I do not want emails.
I used to hate receiving emails from actors that were not clients. I've realized I've kind of got with the times. I think it's something that I had to acquiesce and I've learned to accept. So now I don't mind if they do that. But when if you're an actor, if you're a new actor submitting to me, realize that if I'm interested, I'll be in touch. There's no reason to continually follow up. All that's going to really do is annoy me.
First of all, it should be color, because that's what everyone's using now. And I just look for someone that looks like themselves, that there's not a lot of makeup, that it doesn't look like what we call this kind of Sears portrait studio photo. It looks like a professional photo.
Are you marketable? Do you have a marketable look? And that's going to mean different things to different agents. So it's obviously my eye and what I'm looking for. I'm also looking for obviously a type that maybe I don't already have too many of. And it needs to come across like you know what you're doing. It's professional.
Alluring, something appealing, something that I can identify with, something just likable. Like I like to just look in their eyes and they're saying something to me. They're speaking. I don't want just like a high school photo. I want something that's got just shows the essence of who they are. That's what I'm looking for.
Probably 2. That's plenty. We've had people send 5 and 6. That's not necessary. But 1 is fine. 1 is plenty. But if you have a nice contrasting look, let's say you are a gentleman that wears a beard sometimes, or you're a woman that maybe has a really, really undetectable wig, you can send us a picture with both of those sides of you.
I think, you know what, 3 to 5 tops. I don't think anything more than that. I really don't need to see more than that.
An actor can submit to me as many photos as they like. I don't really care, but just know that when they do send a lot of photos, the least attractive photo is I'm going to think that's exactly what they look like.
I need to be able to look at that photo and say, I can say 10 things about this person without ever knowing them, without ever meeting them. That really there's something in the eyes, there's something in what they're trying to convey. Are they funny? Are they smart? Are they a little sassy? Do they have, a little bit of an attitude? Do they have whatever it is? There's got to be something that really pops off that page that makes me want to look at it again.
If you, are in your mid-30s and you can play mom, I'd like to see your mom shot. If you can be a businesswoman, I'd like to see your businesswoman. If you're athletic or a yogi, I want to see that. I want to see all the dimensions of you.
When I look at an actor's resume, it's in conjunction with the photo. if someone is 18, there's a certain expectation of that resume. If someone's 45, there's another expectation of that resume. So I want to see it's correctly formatted, which means generally in LA they start with their film TV and they move to their theater. In New York, sometimes it's the reverse. If they're submitting to me, I would like to see the list of commercials that they've done. Generally, a resume should not have commercials. It should say list upon request, because when you're auditioning for a commercial, that product does not want to see that you've done their competitor, even if it was 15 years ago. So, but I'd like to see that.
First, I look at their training. I mean, if we're talking commercially, which we are, I like to see which classes they've taken, because in this town, there's, if there's 100 classes, 85 of them are terrible, and ones I would not suggest. So that's the first thing, see if they have any training, and then I look to see if they've done anything substantial.
I like special skills. I want to see what makes you different from the other actors. You speak different languages fluently, fantastic. You are, paraglide and rock climb and do all these kind of fun things that is going to separate you again from the other actors that walk in the room, and things that I can use to now commercially. That's only going to enhance what I guess my desire to call you in.
Resumes are extremely important for commercials. There is one casting director that will not bring in someone based on their online submission if the resume is not up there.
If you're talented and you have the skills and you can go in there and kill it on an audition, that's all they care about. They don't know what they want until you walk in the room. When you walk in the room, they'll just go, that's what we're looking for. So, I mean, resumes are great if you have the experience, but if you don't have the experience, it doesn't matter.
I'd like to know, when they ask for actors who can handle dialogue, all my clients can handle dialogue. So those resumes really kind of show, it also shows the caliber of talent that you're submitting. And if it's a good casting director, and there's, both sides of that, but if it's a good casting director and they're looking at a submission, are they going to look at the person who actually has that acting ability, that acting background, who's done film and television, or are they looking at people who, just starting off? Because what are you going to get when they walk in the room? They might have a good picture, doesn't make them a good actor, or even good reactor, which is just as important. First of all, don't lie on your resume. We can see right through that. You put a bunch of credits down there where it says featured, and all of a sudden, you're looking at production companies and directors you've never heard of. You know that it's either they're lying or it's extra work. First of all, there's a specific format that you can, find online, or go to Samuel French Bookstore and pick up a book on that. There's formats. It needs to be formatted correctly. It should be on one page, not two, not stapled. It should be, it should have your film and television credits. It should have your TV credits, film and television. Then it should have your theater credits. It should have, commercial/print, conflicts available upon request, and be prepared to present that. It should have your training, and then it should have your special skills.
If you really haven't done very much, that's fine. You just have to say, this is what I've done, and you actually should not be meeting agents until you have enough on your resume through your own efforts to warrant interest of an agent.
I want to see everything they've done from when they were kids to present.
Spelled correctly. I hate typos on resumes. These days, how do you have a typo on your resume? It's like you got all the spell correct, the spell search. It drives me nuts.
I'm looking for people that catch my eye. I have a certain eye of what I like, whether you're fat, whether you're skinny, whether you're chubby, whether you're comedy, whether you're super hot, whether you're girl next door. It doesn't matter.
There really is no one age or type or characteristic of an actor that is better than any other, just in general. I think any agency is going to say that they have gaps in certain areas, and they'll say, you know what, we have plenty of blonde moms in their 40s, but we do not have any African American guys in their 20s. So that would be, at that moment, the agency's need.
I think it's really, for me, it's about what don't I have? So are you marketable look? Do you have a strong resume? Do you have an extensive commercial background? These are things to me that are more desirable.
My expectation for reels is dependent again on where that person is in their career. If they're just out of high school or even just out of drama school, I don't expect them to have anything on a reel. But if they've been working for a while, I expect that's part of an actor's homework, especially if they ever expect to be interviewing agents, to have gotten some of their work online on a reel. And we understand that it can be very challenging, especially with independent movies and student films, for an actor to get that. But that's very, very important, because if no one sees your work, then it's almost like you haven't worked in some ways. What's happened in the last few years is with digital photography, it's actually very possible to make your own reel by, just having someone out in the street, and you can put together a scene, and these things look really, they didn't used to, they look really good now.
Do I expect reels? No. I mean, for commercials, I mean, if they have a reel, that's great, because then I can tell how experienced they are, and then if they've, done 5 nationals, then I'll probably work with them.
If they don't have a commercial reel, comedy reels are also good. If you've done a sitcom, something comedic. When people send to me a real theatrical reel or these indie films or things like that, it doesn't help me at all, because I have no idea what you can do commercially, and that is a completely different style of acting. So I like to see the lighter comedic or commercial side of things. And if you don't have one, no big deal. Let's, if I like you, we'll sit down and talk, and hopefully after working with me for a while, you will have one.
We expect an actor to have the training that they can get from wherever they are. If they're coming from a small market, they should have been to whatever school. Almost every medium-sized city is going to have some kind of acting school. It could be a modeling academy, that's the best they can do. Or if they are talented in singing and dancing, they should have some training doing that. When they get to a major market, again, before they start pursuing an agent, they should be looking at some of the actor bookshops or talking to people and finding out where they should train here in LA. And my first question is to them, where are you currently training? And I expect them to be currently in some kind of a scene study class. Not a lot of people know that there are commercial audition technique classes available separately, so I don't expect them to have that. But they will walk out the door with a list of our recommended classes, and they are expected, that's part of their homework, to go out there and take a class. If they've never done anything commercially, to go out and do that.
I always tell people commercial classes and improv classes, because improv, I think, first of all, casting directors drool over improv. They don't think that you can be funny unless you actually do improv, and you're performing improv, and you're with one of the big improv groups. I think that's an important thing. So, and it also is very helpful when you go in for these auditions, because there are a lot of commercial auditions where there is no dialogue and it's a reaction or whatever it might be, that they're just kind of throwing you in there, and you need to be able to think on your feet. But they say, I don't like that, try it a different way. And if you're not really attuned to doing that, to thinking that way, improv also, while we're on the subject, kind of gives you the confidence and opens you up to other areas of who you are. Because some actors walk in and they think that they're just, this is who I am, I'm the cool dude, or I'm the pretty girl, or whatever. Once you get an improv and you kind of get to play around with things a little bit, you go, I can do these other types of characters, and that's really cool.
You should have improv or commercial workshops, definitely. Very few people are just naturals that I found, but there are a few. But then I would still, if they're a natural, I'd still want them to learn the tricks, because there's so many tricks to this trade. A lot of people think I can do commercials just because I have a good look, or, everybody says, I'm good looking or whatever. They think they can just do it, but there's so many tricks to it. I'm looking for both, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, if I like the talent and I think they're talented, then I want to work with them. So for people that are non-union, today it's not as big of a disadvantage, because there's so many non-union projects. I mean, 50% of the projects out there, I would say, are non-union.
We work on union projects exclusively here at the agency, but people are not born with a union card, so people come in without that. And one of our proudest moments is when a non-union actor joins the union through their commercials, which happens a lot. It's probably the main way that people get their SAG cards. The cover letter does not have to be extensive. You can just assume that we know that it's always been your dream to be an actor. You can leave that out. It should always, if you have a referral or if you're coming from another market, excuse me, and you have a lot of credits, just lead right off with that because we're going to read the first couple of lines and then probably just kind of pass through the rest of it.
First of all, it should be typed out. Don't give me a handwritten note. This is a job, you're coming in, it's a professional situation. When I get these little handwritten little stick-ons, right away I'm throwing away that picture. I'm not even looking at that 9 times out of 10.
I don't care about the cover letter. I'm looking at the photo. So the cover letter is, you know what, the only thing, if I had to say what am I looking for, I just shot a Snickers commercial. I just shot McDonald's. That's all I want to know. And that could be done with a post-it on the picture.
Any time is fine to submit. If it's Christmas week, that's even though there's a lovely Christmas card involved and all of that, it's probably not the best time because we're winding way down and you're going to get pushed off until next year.
In the summertime, it slows down. That would be actually the better time. I have more time to take meetings, and I'm not as inundated. And I think people don't think about when things slow down. People tend to go, I'm going to take a break from my acting right now. And it's only when they're in the middle of everything and they see how busy it is, oh, I need a new agent. I should go out and get myself a new agent right now. So I think people need to think about that before, submitting.
What we tell people is if they submit, if they don't hear back within, we say 4 to 6 weeks, you can assume that there's no interest.
I will call them in and I'll have them read for me. And how that works is I have a camera operator and they'll come in and I'll give them copy and then they'll go in to one of the offices and read and go on tape. Then I'll take that disc home and watch it. And then I know exactly what they're going to do when they go to an audition. From slating to, they'll ask them questions, they'll have them read copy, and I'll see how they conduct themselves from the second they walk in the room till they walk out.
If I'm interested in an actor based on either their submission or I've seen them in a show, I will have my assistant reach out to set up a meeting. And we generally do about 6 meetings a week.
I will choose maybe 15 to 20 of those people, and I will have them scheduled to come in on a Wednesday. And they'll come in, I'll have them pick up a piece of commercial copy downstairs. They'll come in and meet, we'll sit down and talk to them, kind of get a sense of their personalities. I'll have them do a read. And then, if I'm interested, I'll give them a call. If I'm not, it was nice to meet you kind of thing.
Okay, now you have the inside scoop on how to professionally submit for commercial representation. If you want more in-depth information about this process, check out my book, Hit the Ground Running, and my CD program, Getting the Job. In the next video in the series, we will focus on what to expect when you meet agents, what they look for and how to make the best impression so that they want to represent you. Don't miss it. Hey, see you next time.